on the mound, with the Yankees leading by an 8-6 score. Tune into Baseball Thursday this week on Fox Sports Net, and you can win a trip to the following week's game in Toronto, courtesy of MCI. Check local listings for the times on Fox Sports Net. It doesn't get much better than this. 32-year-old left-hander Eric Gunderson is the new Rangers pitcher in relief of Tim Crabtree. Gunderson will make his team-leading 56th appearance on the year.
Only lefty in Johnny Oates' bullpen. They have signed Tony Fossis. There it is. If you're breathing and you still throw with your left hand.
Is it Fossis or Fossil?
It's getting close to becoming a fossil, but he's down in their minor league system.
No disrespect to Tony, of course.
No, not at all. I mean, he could still get lefties out. That's the amazing thing. The other guy that comes to mind, Jesse Orosco, 41 years old with the Orioles, just signed a 2-year extension.
So when you have your next son, Rick, tie the right hand behind his back, stick the fork and the baseball in his hand and the pen.
Then the one thing about Gunderson, though, left-hander's hitting .322 on the season against Eric Gunderson.
And he has surrendered 4 home runs in his last 7 1/3 innings for the left-handed batters. Paul O'Neill, 0 for 3, drove in a run with a sacrifice fly in the 6th. 2 on, 2 out. Knobloch on second. Jeter, the runner, on first. Strike called, 0-2. For 11 lifetime against Gunderson. Gunderson ahead of the count. No balls, 2 strikes. In the dirt, nice block by Rodriguez. Paul O'Neill, in his 6th season with the Yankees, acquired a trade for current Texas Ranger Roberto Kelly. Check out the numbers before and after. O'Neill, 6 years with the Reds, 259. Kelly, 281 with the Yankees during the same time span. Since then, O'Neill 316, Kelly 6 different teams.
I mean, yeah, and that was a steal by the Yankees. O'Neill at 316.
Ground ball to the right side. And the sarcastic roar from the crowd as McLemore is able to make the play. But Rangers infielders commit 2 errors. Arlington, Johnny Oates has watched his club commit 5 errors tonight as the Rangers trail the Yankees 8-6. Angels and the Blue Jays tied at 1 in the 4th in Anaheim. Rangers currently trailing the first place Angels by a game and a half. In the American League West, Kenny Albert, Rick Cerone, 7th inning stretch here in Arlington with the home team trailing by 2. Mike Stanton, who came on in relief of David Cone in the 6th and promptly struck out Mark McLemore looking. Stanton will face Greer, Gonzalez, and Clark here in the 7th. 8-6 Yankee lead. Rusty Greer leading it off. Greer has reached base. All 3 plate appearances, 2 walks, and a single. Greer takes a strike, 1-1. To the count. And Rusty Greer, the leadoff man for the Rangers, here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Well, Kenny, you talked about the 13th sellout here at the ballpark in Arlington. That's the most sellouts they've had since the first season. They had 21 sellouts. And nice crowd on hand, but they did not want to see the Rangers boot the ball around the infield like they have tonight.
Now 2-2 on Greer. Beautiful night hot and humid as usual here in Arlington.
Yeah, how do you like this ballpark? I mean, they've copied a lot of different things in center field, maybe after the Sky Dome in Toronto, the overhang in right field like Tiger Stadium.
The seating area reminds you of Camden Yards. Camden Yards, of course, with the warehouse. Here in Arlington, the skybox is out in center field. In Baltimore, the out-of-town scoreboard is in right. Here it's in left.
I think the scoreboard in left here with the higher wall, maybe similar to Fenway Park. Oh, just very big. I like it. A lot of different things in this ballpark.
Troy Aikman owns a luxury box.
Yeah, Troy Aikman. Dallas Cowboys getting ready. Exhibition series. Yeah. I think that's like Fenway Park.
Who's that guy next to the Detroit score?
Yeah, who is
in the scoreboard?
He is working. Oh, yeah, hit it here, win his free suit, 501 feet. Yeah, but that's about 900 feet away.
Greer fouls off another one. Reminiscent of the old Abe Stark sign at Ebbets Field in Brooklyn. Hit it here, win a free suit.
How about that guy?
See a Tigers fan?
Look at that in the scoreboard. Working it out there. Another guy. Hey, did they pay to get those seats?
They're all over the place. Full count on Rusty Greer leading off the seventh.
Then at the top of the stadium, they have like the old Yankee facade. And they really took a lot of elements from different ballparks and made it into one here in Arlington.
Greer into center, falls in front of Bernie Williams. Greer's second consecutive base hit. Well, this week on FX Major Movies Sunday, three brothers plan to rob a bank. Too bad they don't have the brains to pull it off. Watch Trapped in Paradise tomorrow at 8, 7 Central, only on FX Major Movie Sunday. I guess the brains went to Mulder and Scully.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, and Rusty Greer just continues to wear out Mike Stanton. 6 for 11 now, lifetime. Here's another guy. 2 for 5 lifetime, but those two are home runs against Mike Stanton. An opportunity for Gonzalez to tie up this ball game.
He gave the Rangers a 1-run lead earlier with a 3-run shot. And he takes strike one from his former teammate, Mike Stanton, who spent the second portion of the '96 season here in Texas, following a trade with the Boston Red Sox.
You saw that Stanton's first pitch underneath the hands, good fastball inside to make Gonzalez aware. The one thing you can't do is miss inside. Gets it back over the plate, he'll have a good rip at it.
He sent one 449 feet earlier, his 36th homer of the season. RBIs number 122, 123, and 124, tying former Texas Rangers Sammy Sosa.
Oh, what a year. What a year he is having.
Sosa 49 homers, 3 behind McGuire, who hit number 52 tonight in a 14-4 loss to the Pittsburgh Pirates. 9 away from tying Roger Maris on August 22nd. Mark McGuire himself said before the season, if anybody hit number 50 prior to September, he thought they would have a shot.
Yeah, well, he's prior to September, he's got more than a shot.
Sosa with 49. Griffey Jr. stuck at 42. This could be number 37 for Gonzalez. Curtis looking up. It is.
It almost reminds you of the series he had in the postseason. Just 5 home runs in that postseason series. Look at the breaking ball, stays in the middle of the plate. He tried to sneak 3 fastballs by him. Breaking ball he goes to. Gonzalez crushes it 5 RBIs tonight, 2 home runs, 37 on the year, and a tie ball game.
And now Will Clark into the stands in right field. They go back to back. And the Rangers have taken the lead. Home run number 17 for Will the Thrill.
Well, the crowd didn't even get a chance to sit down. They were looking for a curtain call from Juan Gonzalez, and in the meantime, Will Clark just blasts a home run to right field. Well, you see the reaction in Joe Torre, Don Zimmer, but the crowd, like I said, they didn't get a chance to sit down. All of a sudden tied, and the next thing you know, 1 pitch later, bingo.
For Will Clark, only his 2nd homer in the last 22 games. So Mike Stanton faces 4 batters, allows 3 runs, 2 home runs. David Cone will not win his 19th tonight. Stanton to the showers. The Rangers back on top. Juan Gonzalez entered the day 3 RBI behind Sammy Sosa. He is now 2 ahead.
Well, I mean, he can get hot in a hurry. What, 5 RBIs, 2 home runs. 126 now. Needs 65 to break the Major League record. Hack Wilson, he's getting closer.
He still needs to average 2 per game.
Oh, to really shatter the record.
5 tonight. It's the Rangers 9 and the Yankees 8. And what a story we have developing on the mound right now for the Yankees. Ryan Bradley, 22 years of age, began the season in Single A Tampa. First-round draft pick a year ago out of Arizona State. Recalled yesterday. Warmed up in the bullpen yesterday, and he will make his Major League debut. 22 years of age, threw a no-hitter in the minors July 8th, worked his way up all the way from Single A earlier this season, and he is now on the mound for the New York Yankees. His Major League debut. Facing Pudge Rodriguez.
Yeah, you're wondering, what is he thinking? Well, I don't remember 46,000 people in Tampa when I started this year.
22 years of age, 6'4", out of Arizona State. There's his first Major League strike, 1-1.
His combined numbers for the year, 9-4, a 2.20 ERA, 7 saves. He originally started as the closer in the minor leagues.
He was a reliever through his collegiate days and up until the early portion of this season, but the Yankees wanted to get Bradley more innings.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, everybody makes their Major League debut that does. Their feet aren't touching the ground. You wonder what he's thinking right now on the mound.
Foul back, 2-2. Mike Stanton, in a third of an inning, allows 3 runs, 2 home runs. Ryan Bradley's fiance made the drive this week from Tampa up to Columbus. He was promoted to AAA. Yesterday morning, he got the call to fly to Arlington. She's in Columbus. Rodriguez into right. And Ryan Bradley retires, the first Major League batter that he has faced, as Paul O'Neill makes the catch for the first out of the 7th. There was speculation over the last couple of weeks that the Yankees would promote Bradley prior to the roster freeze as far as the postseason roster is concerned. And because Mike Buddy started the other night, an emergency start for the injured Hideki Irabu, they felt Buddy could not pitch for another 4 or 5 days. They wanted another arm out of the bullpen. hence the recall of Bradley.
Yeah, but it's amazing. And one of the things, a guy, a 22-year-old, let's not forget, he's 22, pitched at Arizona State. I mean, that's almost like the minor leagues. So you're able to make the jump a little quicker than a high school student that works his way through the minor leagues. But a nice, interesting story. I just feel bad for the fiance. Still back in Columbus, missing his major league debut. Well, maybe she's watching it on FX right now.
Hopefully watching us, and we are told she will make the drive to New York to meet the Yankees when they return home.
There's those numbers I was talking about. Originally a closer, went to the rotation.
He won his last 5 starts as Todd Zeile flies out to right. 2 away here in the 7th.
Yeah, that's what right now he's saying, this is easy. I got guys that can run them down in the outfield, bigger ballparks. I'll let him swing the bat. Now he's probably breathing a little bit easier.
He retired Rodriguez and Zeile and will now face Warren Newson. Newson 1 for 3. Rangers have got ahead by a 9-8 score. 3 runs here in the 7th. 7 of the 9 Texas runs coming via the long ball. 4 Yankee homers last night. 4 Ranger home runs tonight. Not good news for Mel Stottlemyre and Joe Torre.
One thing I noticed with Ryan Bradley, throws a little bit across his body. Makes it a little bit tougher for the hitter to see the release point of where he's letting go the baseball. So the ball will appear a lot quicker to the hitter, a couple of miles an hour faster.
And Rick, for Juan Gonzalez, his 6th multiple homer game this season, 33rd of his career.
Yeah, 31 times he's got hit 2 big flies in a game, and twice he's gone 3 times in a game.
Newson, a towering fly ball into right center. Bernie Williams calling off Paul O'Neill, so Ryan Bradley comes on. And
for the Oilers.
Fly ball 8th inning here at Arlington. Seesaw battle, 9-8 Texas lead. Juan Gonzalez, a pair of home runs, 5 runs batted in. And Rick, our MCI interactive question comes from Gene of Seabrook, Maryland. A big fan of yours on the Orioles telecast. Why don't the Yankees have names on the back of their uniforms?
Well, the obvious answer I would think would be because of tradition. Over the years they haven't. But my answer is so they could sell more programs.
That's it.
People that come into the ballpark the first time, who is number 30? Well, you buy a program. It costs a couple of bucks. Oh, it's Willie Randolph.
In fact, the Yankees list all the retired numbers amongst their numerical roster in the programs on the scorecard page where they list all the numbers.
Well, what's the old saying? You can't tell the players without a scorecard?
In fact, I knew you were waiting for this, Rick. It was back on April 16th, 1929, when the Yankees became the first team to wear uniform numbers.
Well, see, there you have it. Tradition. Tradition, Gene. Goes back to 1929.
How about this matchup? Bernie Williams, Xavier Hernandez on Sunday. Bernie won the game for the Yankees with a 9th inning home run against, guess who?
Xavier Hernandez.
His former teammate. Hernandez, a Yankee, back in 1994. 33-year-old right-hander has allowed only 1 earned run in his last 11 appearances, and that was the Williams homer.
Yeah, his best pitch is that fork ball that he likes to use once he gets ahead in the count.
What do you think Hernandez is thinking about right now? Do you think he's flashing back to Sunday?
Yeah, don't make that same mistake to Bernie.
He does not, as the play is made by McLemore. That was the 50th anniversary of Babe Ruth's death on Sunday. The Yankees observed a moment of silence before the game in tribute to Babe Ruth, and Bernie Williams won the game with the 9th inning home run a la the Babe. We apologize to those of you who may be experiencing some video problems at the moment. We are working on the problem. Top of the 8th inning, 9-8. Texas Rangers lead. 1 out. Tino Martinez 0 for 4. Very un-Tino Martinez-like evening, considering the Yankees have put 8 runs on the board, 13 hits. O'Neill and Martinez a combined 0 for 8. Martino, of course, with the 2 homers last night. against the Rangers.
Well, what a victory this would be for the Rangers. I mean, you boot the ball all over the place, give up 8 runs, and yet you're leading in the ball game in the top of the 8th, 9-8.
Now 2-1 on Martinez. No decision tonight for both starters, David Cohn and John Burkett. Hernandez, the 4th Rangers pitcher. Martinez chased that one, now 2-2.
That's that good forkball. Xavier Hernandez teases hitters with it, tries them to chase it out of the strike zone.
The 2-2 from Hernandez, up the middle, base hit. So Tito Martinez reaches base for the first time tonight with a 1-out single.
Well, after the forkball went with a high fastball, Tino, for a left-hand hitter, a very good high ball hitter, takes a single right back up the middle. Take a look at it from the side. He's going to take the barrel of the bat, get on top of this high fastball, and return it to sender right back up the middle.
Chili Davis 2 for 4. Scored a run back in the 2nd inning. In the dirt, good block by Rodriguez. 1 ball count on Davis with 1 out. Top of the 8th inning, Martinez, the runner on first for the Yankees.
Well, we have seen Rodriguez behind the plate tonight prevent a couple of runners from advancing. Good blocking. That was a tough one. That was about a 55-foot forkball.
Imagine committing 5 errors and leading the game.
That's what, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, if you're Johnny Oates, this is almost like stealing.
Angels have taken a 2-1 lead over the Blue Jays. Game and a half lead over the Rangers in the AL West.
Johnny Oates not going to take any chances. Looks like John Wetland already up in their bullpen. There's Wetland. In case any more damage, might use Wetland to retire 5 hitters rather just than the normal 3 in the 9th.
Into left field, Rusty Greer. 2 away here in the 8th. Rick, next week on Baseball Thursday, the division-leading Angels take on the Yankees. From Yankee Stadium, some of you will see Mark McGwire in his chase for Roger Maris, Cardinals, and the Braves. Check local listings for the game in your area. Angels and the Yankees, they will play 5 in 4 days. So the Rangers will certainly be looking for help from the Yankees next week. Remember earlier this season when the beam fell in Yankee Stadium? A couple of games canceled. The Yankees wound up playing the Tigers at Shea Stadium.
One of the luxuries Joe Torre was talking about, having 6 starters. With a lot of doubleheaders coming up. Doesn't matter who he plugs into that rotation, has been getting the job done. But they are a little short in the bullpen. That's why we see Bradley up now. Ramiro Mendoza, a little tender arm.
Chad Curtis batting for the 2nd time. Yankees actually played the Angels at Shea. They flip-flop series with the Tigers, home and away. Curtis 0 for 1. 2 outs, top of the 8th, a 9-8 lead for the Texas Rangers.
Oh, wasn't this what we thought? A nice pitcher's duel. 9-8. Welcome to modern Major League Baseball.
American League style.
Oh, yeah.
2-0 on Curtis. Both the Rangers and the Angels winning at the moment. 6th inning in Anaheim. Angels have gone 9-4 the last 2 weeks. Rangers only 4-8. Texas going from 3 up in the West to a game and a half behind. Yankees don't have that problem. They lead the Eastern Division by 18.5.
This has not been an easy place for the Yankees to play. They have not fared well in Texas.
Now Curtis with his first hit of the game into right center. Martinez on his way to third. And the Yankees again with 2 runners on with 2 out.
Chad Curtis mentioned did a nice job when Bernie Williams was down. Watch him stay inside this baseball and drive it to right center field. Boy, just inside the baseball. Watch Tino Martinez now. Able to go first to third, sees the ball. Now he picks up the third base coach, Willie Randolph. Hey, that must be that little same spot that Goodwin fell down.
Here comes Johnny Oates. John Wetland, the former Yankee MVP of the 1996 World Series, will come out to face his former club to try and pick up the final 4 outs of tonight's game.
First you bought a home, and then you fixed it up.
Birthday yesterday will come on with 2 outs in the 8th inning. Wetland's moment of glory, of course, with the Yankees, 1996. 4 saves and 4 opportunities. Charlie Hayes catching the final out against the Braves.
Great feeling for John Wetland. This year, 33 of 37 save opportunities. 3-1 on the season with an ERA 1.52. He has really developed not just into a closer, but a very good pitcher. See, only 8 walks and 59 strikeouts in 47 innings. He is using more breaking balls, not just the high fastballs anymore, from John Wetland. Another guy, another former teammate of mine. How about that bullpen in Montreal? Had Jeff Facero, Mel Rojas setting up John Wetland in 1992.
And he will face Scott Brosius with 2 on and 2 outs. Wetland third in the American League in saves with 33 behind Tom Gordon and Troy Percival. He's pitched in only 1 of the last 10 games prior to this one. Did not face the Yankees during the 4-game series last weekend. Brosius 2 hits tonight. Martinez, the runner on third. Curtis on at first.
Well, we'll take a look at a scouting report on John Wetland. He now uses all his pitches, the curveball, the slider, fastball. If you're the Yankee hitters, you have to get the fastball down in the zone. And like I mentioned, his slider and curve become better out pitches for John Wetland.
Brosius hits this one to deep right field, and Scott Brosius has hit a 2-out, 3-run homer off John Wetland. New hero every night for the Yankees, Rick. It is now 11-9 New York.
What a wild, wild ball game. He took a fastball down and drove it the other way for a 3-run homer. Wow, John Wetland not used to coming in the 8th inning of ball games. Look at it. He got the fastball down in the zone. I didn't think this ball was going to carry enough, but it does. Just over in the bullpen. Juan Gonzalez helpless looking up. 3-run shot. Boy, big hit by Brosius.
Home run number 15 on the season. Girardi pops it up. No room for Rodriguez. So the Yankees, in a wild one, have gone back on top by the score of 11-9. Fifth home run allowed this year by Wetland. Rangers bullpen first in save percentage, over 80%, 37 saves and 46 opportunities.
Now look at that, 18th time the Yankees have scored 10 or more runs this year. Oh, look at that dugout. 371-foot homer by Brocious.
On the ground to short, Clayton. And Wetland retires the Yankees, but not before he allows a 3-run homer off the bat of Scott Brocious. 11-9 Yankees. Scott Brocious, the man of the hour for the New York Yankees. 3-run go-ahead home run with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th, top of the 8th off John Wetland. And the Yankees now lead 11-9. Ryan Bradley retired all 3 Rangers he faced in the 7th in his major league debut. Here in the 8th, Clayton, Goodwin, and McLemore. Bradley came in with the Yankees trailing 9-8, following back-to-back home runs, Gonzalez and Will Clark, and comes out to work his second inning with a 2-run lead.
It's been a crazy game. Well, Kenny, he reminds you a little bit of a guy that's on the disabled list for the Yankees, Jeff Nelson, who they're not sure if is able going to be coming back before the end of the season. Throws really across his body. And the thing hitters want to see is a release point. He makes it very difficult to pick up the baseball.
Inside, now 2-2.
And just to talk about throwing across his body, he really steps towards the third base coaching box. This one, breaking ball, just never finishes and leaves it up and in. Gets an ooh and an ah out of the crowd, but it is a breaking ball that knocks down Clayton. Oh, make a hitter move his feet.
Clayton down on strikes. First major league strikeout for Ryan Bradley.
You got to be impressed. The one thing, if you're Mel Stottlemyre and Joe Torre, able to throw strikes. Doesn't know where he is. Still thinks he's back in Tampa or Columbus or Norwich. Doesn't know where he is, but he's pitching in the big leagues. Major league debut. Look at him throw across his body. Good life on a fastball upstairs.
Ground ball to the right side. And a diving play by Tino Martinez. Oh, what a play.
Are they having some fun? I mean, good hustle by Martinez. Wasn't sure if Bradley was going to get over there, so he said, I'm going to take it myself. Knows Goodwin's running. Head first slide, gets the uniform dirty. Everybody's getting dirty tonight. 11-9 ball game.
Would you say that play by Martinez would be a symbol of the Yankee season?
Yeah, I mean, they are gritty. We talked about it in our opening. They are a very determined bunch of players. They just work it every day. I mean, it's unbelievable what they're going through right now. I mean, if you're in the Rangers dugout, you got to be scratching your head. What do we have to do to beat this team right now?
All right, come on, Mac.
1-1 on McLemore.
I think the one thing pitching coaches look for in an arm, especially a young arm, is he willing to throw the ball over the plate? And Ryan Bradley has shown he's not scared to throw it over the plate.
McLemore hit. So he will head down to first. First time McLemore has been hit by a pitch this season.
Yeah, just as I was talking about his good control, he bounces a curveball off McLemore inside, and that'll bring Rusty Greer, who now represents the tying run.
And that will be all for Ryan Bradley, who retires the first 5 and then hits McLemore with a pitch. As was the case with John Wetland. His protege, Mariano Rivera, will come on to try and retire the final 4 Rangers here tonight.
Golf Digest.
He was the setup man. And right there, Ryan Bradley, a little disgusted with himself, but hey, he's in line to get the victory here. First Major League victory. And Mariano Rivera, 32 out of 36 in save opportunities, 2-0 on the year. Had 22 consecutive saves, and he blew one against Kansas City last week. Pinpoint control, that's the one thing, and the smooth, easy delivery of Mariano Rivera.
In the series last week against the Rangers, all Rivera did was earn 1 win and 2 saves.
Just a nice delivery, and the ball explodes, and it's got some tremendous movement on it. That's the one thing you maybe can't appreciate watching on TV, but it really cuts in. If you look at the most saves in the AL, Gordon, Percival, Wetland, who blew one here tonight, and Mariano Rivera with 32. Rivera gives John Wetland an awful lot of credit. Really taught him the ropes down there. They used to talk to each other every day. 1996, he was the setup man, would pitch the 7th and 8th innings. Wetland would close it out, and really have developed a nice bond. And you know, I mentioned the scouting report. Look, easy, fluid motion, fastball, 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 and late movement. The ball really cuts in to a left-handed batter. Very smooth delivery, though. I think that's what's surprising. 95 miles an hour, easy gas, we like to say. Easy gas. It just keeps coming at the hitter.
And Rivera will face Rusty Greer with 2 outs in the 8th. Runner on first is McLemore. Greer has walked twice tonight and is 2 for 2, a pair of singles. And he represents the tying run. Strike called, 0-1.
Oh, there it is. I mean, just an easy motion. The ball explodes. Really, the last 3 feet towards the plate. Just keeps coming after you.
One and one on Greer.
Saw just 2 for 12 lifetime against Rivera's Rusty Greer.
2-1.
So that ball from the center field camera really looks straight, but it's anything but straight. I remember talking to Paul Molitor about Rivera. He said, boy, it's just late movement.
Foul back, 2-2.
And, you know, you think of Molitor, one of the shortest, quickest strokes in baseball, and I saw him swing through so many pitches against Rivera. I asked him, what is it? He said, Rick, you think you're on the ball, and then like a Maddox, it just sails away from you. Because from center field, you really can't appreciate that movement.
Whooped down the left field line, foul.
Kenny, that was kind of similar to what I was talking about. You go out after the baseball, you think it's in the middle of the plate like Greer did. Next thing you know, it's right by the trademark. And he'll check to see if he needs a new piece of lumber, but I guess it's still intact.
The 2-2 from Rivera. And Greer fouls it back. Stays alive with 2 outs in the 8th. Juan Gonzalez waiting on deck. 2 homers, 5 runs batted in tonight.
Pretty good at bat, Rusty Greer is putting on Mariano Rivera. And if you're Rivera and the Yankees, you're saying, this is the guy I have to get out now. You want to face Gonzalez maybe leading off the night. You don't want to face him here with 2 runners on where he can put you in front. This is the guy Rivera and all the Yankees want him to retire.
High and inside. Full count on Greer.
But the way this game is going, you wouldn't expect anything else.
McLemore going. And Greer fouls yet another one off. 20 runs tonight combined, 26 hits, 5 Texas errors. The teams have combined to leave 15 men on base.
Do you want to put this one in a time capsule?
4 lead changes. McLemore on the move. Bounced foul. Was that 5 in a row?
Yeah, Rusty Greer is saying, should I turn this bat around? Because it's getting on my fingers. Hitting it down by the trademark. It's a pretty good battle. He knows the situation. He's trying to get on base any way possible to let Gonzalez hit in this inning.
There goes McLemore. Fouled back. Just to the left of our broadcast booth. So the count remains 3 balls, 2 strikes. McLemore getting some exercise.
Oh yeah, those legs are in good shape now.
And he's been suffering from knee problems. He was just hit by a pitch in the ankle. 7 in a row. Fouled off by Greer.
Oh, this is an outstanding battle.
Base hit right field. McLemore over to third. And he just made it.
Oh, right, you know he's hurting. But boy, oh boy, that is a big gamble, especially with Gonzalez coming to the plate. Oh, what a battle by Greer. Fighting it off, able to get the base hit. You talked about Derek Jeter reaching base 5 times. Well, how about Rusty Greer? 2 walks and 3 singles for Greer. But more importantly, gets Gonzalez an opportunity to swing the bat here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
An 11 pitch at bat.
11 pitch at bat. Look, he's hurting. You talked about his legs, and I'll tell you what, pretty close at third base. Oh, didn't everybody pay to see this confrontation? If you're wondering about in the past, what has Gonzalez done against Rivera? How about 4 for 11 lifetime with a long ball?
He's hit 2 out tonight. He's driven in 5. And he represents the go-ahead run. 2 on, 2 out. Well, Gonzalez did not mean to do that. And excuse me, check swing. Grounds out to Martinez unassisted. The Rangers strand 2 as Ryan Bradley offers his congratulatory high fives. He stands to earn the win.
Watch, he's trying to get out of the way. Never even sees the ball make contact. And instead of going foul, it goes right to Tino Martinez. Inning over. Didn't get an opportunity to swing the bat. Very frustrating for Juan Gonzalez and the Rangers.
Top of the order for the Yankees. Chuck Knobloch and Derek Jeter have reached base a combined 9 of 10 plate appearances tonight. They have scored 4 of the Yankees' runs.
Remember what we said right in the first inning? I think the 2 guys that make this lineup go are Knobloch and Jeter. You get your leadoff hitters on, your second guy on, create a lot of havoc on the base paths, and the big guys can drive them in.
And they have both reached on an error twice tonight. Knobloch and Jeter have. This time, Knobloch will pop out to the second baseman, McLemore. 1 away. Well, Rick, our game summary. The numbers crunchers working overtime. 3 hours, 38 minutes, 20 runs, 5 home runs, 27 hits, 7 extra base hits, 15 left on. Now 17, including the Rangers' 8th inning. 5 Texas errors. A combined 311 pitches, and we have now moved to 3 hours, 39 minutes.
Yeah, and the only thing not there, 4 pencils used to keep track of all the pitches.
And 2 hot dogs in the booth.
Yeah, and 2 hot dogs in the booth, and Ryan Bradley, yeah, may get his first major league win.
Began the year in Single-A Tampa. The hitting stars for the Yankees here tonight. There are 4 of them. Scott Brocious, the 3-run homer in the 8th. 3 hits apiece for Jeter and Williams. Bernie Williams, 3 runs batted in. Jeter has driven in 2. And Chuck Knobloch reached base 4 times, scored 2 runs.
Yeah, how about Brocious? I mean, he had the 3-run homer, but also 3 hits and 3 runs scored.
1 and 2 on Jeter, who has reached base all 5 times. 3 hits, he's driven in 2, he's scored 2. Just another day at the office.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. What do you expect from a 24-year-old having fun in the big leagues? One guy not having fun right now, John Wetland, gave up that 3-run homer to Scott Brocious.
Jeter and Wetland had fun together 2 years ago, especially in October.
You brought up a point. Only 1 time he's made an appearance in the last 10 days, John Wetland. But it looked like it was a pretty good pitch that he threw to Brocious. I mean, the ball was down. He was able to just drive it the other way and out.
And it just made it out.
Yeah, it sure did. Sure did.
Now symbolic that Juan Gonzalez, who has hit 2 tonight for the Rangers and has driven in 5, drifted back to the track and watched the Brocious home run go just over his head in right field to give the Yankees an 11-9 lead, as they look to tie a season high 62 games over 500. Looking ahead to the Rangers' 9th, Clark, Rodriguez, and Zeal. So it's not over yet. Clark and Rodriguez have both gone deep tonight. I told you earlier, imagine the Rangers having committed 5 errors, yet they led at the time. How about this? They hit 4 home runs and they trail.
It's just a wild ball game, and a team that has won 93 ball games finds ways to win the close games late. I mean, that's the difference. They expect to win every day they show up on the field. And the one thing Joe Torre said is they forget about yesterday. You know, they might have played a great game. They forget about it. Today's a new day, and they want to find a way to win today.
Seems like every time the Yankees lose, they come back and blow out the opponent the next day. They have not lost 3 in a row since the first week of the season. As Jeter heads down to first. The executive producers of FX Baseball Saturday Night, all 3 hours, 39 minutes worth, are Arthur Smith and Bill Borson. The coordinating producer is Larry Myers. Tonight's game produced by Jim Drake. Our director, George Finkel, and the head of field operations, Andrea Jenkins. Tremendous job by our entire crew tonight from the ballpark in Arlington. You mentioned the Yankees' struggles here in Texas. This year, they've won all 3. And they will win a series here in Arlington as O'Neill lines out to the shortstop Clayton. The Yankees have clinched the season series in Texas for the first time since 1983.
Yeah, I mentioned the struggles. The last 10 years, the Yankees here in Texas, the new ballpark, the old ballpark, 16 and 37 coming into tonight.
Paul O'Neill heads back to the dugout, 0 for 5.
0 for 5. Not a happy camper, but you know what? Big sacrifice fly in that 6th inning where they were able to take the lead. Bernie, another big night, 3 for 4, 3 RBIs, hitting .351 to lead the American League now.
And leads all of baseball as well. Williams, the hero, against the Rangers Sunday with the 9th inning homer. Tonight, Scott Brocious, 3-run shot in the 8th. as Wetland keeps Jeter close.
Another part of the Jeter game that he's improved, 24 stolen bases this year. 24 out of 30. Not just the power numbers, but pretty good speed also at first base.
Strike called, 0-1.
I mean, the running game is almost non-existent when you have Ivan Rodriguez behind the plate. He has thrown out 53% of the runners this year. Even though Wetland a little slow to the plate.
Angels now on top in the 7th inning, 2-1. If both scores hold, the Rangers would fall 2.5 behind. Now remember, the Yankees play 5 against the Angels next week at Yankee Stadium. And the Rangers have 5 remaining with Anaheim as well. 1-2 on Williams.
Pretty much staying with the fastball as you look at the AL West standings. Yeah, game and a half behind the Anaheim Angels, in danger of going 2.5 back. Wetland just staying with the fastball down to Bernie Williams.
Who would have thought the Mariners would be in last place in the West? Orioles remaining in the wild card hunt, 8 behind the Red Sox. Complete game for Scott Erickson. Oakland over Detroit, 7-1. The Royals edging the Devil Rays by a run. So the Orioles pick up a game, now 7 out. Boston a 7-game lead over Baltimore. Mariners and White Sox now in the 10th. Orioles have what, 7 against the Red Sox in September?
Six out of the last 9 ball games. Still a chance. I mean, not a very good chance. No team has ever come back from 15.5 down at the All-Star break to go to postseason. But they're making a run at it, 31-10 since the All-Star break.
Cal Ripken a big homer today. Nervous anticipation, would you say?
Oh yeah, who's going to give him his first baseball? That's what he's thinking about. Got to find a way to get 3 more outs, and then he gets his first major league win
in a brand new Yankee cap.
Oh, in 7th heaven right now.
Williams in the air to center. Goodwin could not make the catch. It rolls to the wall. Williams with his 4th run batted in of the night. A 2-out double. It is now 12-9 Yankees.
But Bernie Williams that time gets up on a high fastball from Wetland. Didn't bite at the low fastballs, makes him get it up. Watch it, middle of the plate, up. Boy, he just hammers this ball to straightaway center field. Goodwin runs out of real estate. Jeter able to score all the way from first base to add to this lead, make it 12-9 Yankees.
One more insurance run for Ryan Bradley's cause. Tino Martinez takes a strike. He's 1 for 5. So David Cohn will not win number 19. But Ryan Bradley with an opportunity to pick up career win number 1 in the major leagues at the age of 22. How old were you when you made your major league debut?
21. Yep, 21. Very similar to Ryan Bradley. Came up out of Seton Hall, spent a month in the minor leagues, and then made my debut with the Cleveland Indians in 1975. And I didn't know where I was. Never had my feet on the ground. Most people will say I still don't have my ground planted.
But do you know where you are?
Yes. Arlington, St. Louis. I get confused with all the travel we do.
Well hit to left center. Goodwin catches up to this one. And we finally head to the bottom of the ninth. Welcome back to the ballpark in Arlington. Rangers coming into this one leading after 7 innings this season, 56-1. They led tonight 9-8 heading into the 8th before Scott Brosius put the Yankees ahead with a 3-run homer. So this would be only the 2nd loss in 58 games for the Rangers when leading in the 8th inning.
It's more of an opportunity to say this is what the Yankee season has been all about. And maybe a little tale of reversal of fortune for the Rangers. Not able to get the good starting pitching. Today we saw them self-destruct in the field with 5 errors. Another one that should have been called an error when Clayton dropped the throw from Rodriguez.
Will Clark, Ivan Rodriguez, and Todd Zeile here in the 9th against Mariano Rivera.
Little insurance run in the top of the 9th. Jeter the walk, and then Bernie Williams the double to drive him home.
Gets by Knobloch, a leadoff single in the 9th for Clark. In the National League this afternoon, Randy Johnson now 4-1 as an Astro, the division-leading Astros. And the Central Mets with a game lead over the Cubs in the wild card race. Mike Piazza, a grand slam. Braves lead the Mets by 13 games in the East. Giants in 10 keep pace in the wild card race. Giants 4 out. Cubs trail by a game. Reds shutting out the Expos by a 4-0 score. And the Philadelphia Phillies pulled through within a game of the 500 mark. Number 52 for Mark McGwire and a Cardinals loss. And the Brewers over the first place Padres. Ground ball to the right side. Martinez for 1. Back to first. Rodriguez beat the throw, but the Yankees get the force at second.
Remember what I said about Rivera on the scouting report? Fastball, fastball, fastball. He has not thrown anything but a fastball in the 2 innings of work. Nice job. Good hustle by Clark going in at second base. And Clark, good slide, takes out Jeter. Unable to turn the double play, but they get the leading lady at second base.
1 out. Todd Zeile 0 for 4. Rodriguez down at first. And a strike called, 0-1. The tying run is on deck with the Yankees leading at 9. 12 runs on 17 hits for New York. Texas 9 runs, 12 hits, 5 errors. And a base hit into left field. First hit of the game for Zeile, and now the tying run will come to the plate.
I didn't expect anything else. I expected the tying run to come to the plate here in the bottom of the 9th. Why not make it a 4.5-hour ball game?
Haven't we hit 4.5 already?
Oh, it feels like it, but hey, Ozzie Newson. I thought I was going to say that. We're in Dallas. Warren Newson here. Zeal.
Warren played football at the University of Georgia.
I knew I had a connection there. You see Zeal lining the base hit to left field.
Well, the longest 9-inning game for the Rangers this year, 4 hours, 6 minutes against the Yankees back in May, and we are approaching that, but it could end right here. Knobloch over to first, double play. And the New York Yankees have won number 94. It's the first career victory for 22-year-old Ryan Bradley in his major league debut. Bradley all smiles, did not allow a base hit. Rangers hit 4 homers, Yankees only 1, but it was the big blow in the 8th inning. It is our MCI play of the game off the bat of Scott Brocious.
I mean, pretty good pitch from John Wetland. Our MCI play of the game. Brocious goes after a fastball away, drives it over the head of Juan Gonzalez. Big 3-run home run for Brocious as the Yankees go 62 games over 500.
4 hours, 7 minutes. Bradley the win, Wetland the loss. Rivera saved number 33. Yankees win it by the score of 12-9. Join us Thursday on Fox Sports Net. You'll see the Angels and the Yankees, or the St. Louis Cardinals and the Atlanta Braves. Check local listings for the game and time in your area. Next week on FX Baseball Saturday night, it will be the Red Sox and the Angels. Out west, the Pirates and the Astros. Again, check local listings. Coming up next on FX, on the East Coast, 21 Jump Street. On the West Coast, the A-Team. For Rick Cerrone and our entire crew, Kenny Albert saying so long from Arlington. Yankees win number 94. You've been watching Baseball Saturday Night on FX.